a quick mid-ride recap. So far it's been 691 miles. We've ridden pretty much from London up here all the way to Switzerland down there, heading towards Italy, so I'm more than halfway there. And we've maintained this whole great deal of no flats, which is awesome. My antique equipment is holding up pretty well. The donkey is running well. It's got a new front wheel, so that's great. And the panniers are kind of holding up. And so that's about it. And what's going to follow here is just a bunch of outtakes. So, you know, if you're bored with this stuff, just skip it and just stop this video now. But if you're okay with hearing some Andy Rooney, you ever wonder why? And Richard Ayoade over-explaining, that's the kind of stuff I've cut out of the short videos that have been posted before. See you later. Should I go to Chittingston's Oath or Blackham? I think I'm going to go to Blackham. Tunbridge Wells. And this is, looks like a good proper British pub. And actually it is, but it's also a chain. Home to cheap, good, real ale and even cheaper food. It's essentially the Applebee's living. Here's an example of Weatherspoon's prices. About $9 to $14, beer included. Here's how it works. The gate right in front of here opens up, and then a boat sails into this giant bathtub with cables on each side. And then the gate closes and they winch the bathtub all the way up to the top. Hoo boy. This stripe glows in the dark. You can see the faint glow. Here's a little info board about how this Fenbon area was used for smuggling. Since it's a little narrow strip of Belgium winding through Germany, it was a really long border for them to defend. And what happened is, I guess Belgium had a good source of cheap coffee, and they would smuggle coffee into Germany. And the police were really kind of hard cracking down on it. And of course now with the EU, this is all moot. There's free trade across the borders. And waiting here at the Troy Verges train station, and was trying to figure out how to buy a ticket. And it turns out you don't have to buy a ticket, they're free. The trains are free in Luxembourg, which is really wild. I'm at the Luxembourg train station because there's been a last minute change in plans. When reviewing the route last night, I noticed that there's some questionable parts of the route that are crucial, and if they don't exist, then the detour is going to be really, really grueling. And since the #2 priority for this trip is fun, I thought I might try to, you know, not be exposed to that. So anyway, since fun is #2 priority, I didn't want to expose myself to having a grueling detour to, instead of taking a nice flat path going over the mountains. So I'm fast forwarding to southeastern Luxembourg, and then I'm going to pick it up from there. This is Schengen, where the famous Schengen Treaty was signed, which makes it so you don't have to show your passport every time you cross the border. You can see we're very close to France and Germany right now. I'll be crossing to Germany. But more importantly, for this bike ride, it also opened up a lot of little country roads between the different countries. So you can actually cross from one country to the other without being on a major road, which is really nice when you're on a bike. Well, this is pretty weird. I'm on a bridge over a freeway, and it's a gravel road. That in itself isn't weird, but if you look, right as soon as you get onto land on the other side there, it turns into asphalt. Now, why didn't they put asphalt on the bridge? It's just a mystery. Here's a pretty cool rest stop. It's a bateau that they cut in half and stuck picnic tables in. Well, I almost got shortchanged by almost 20 euros in this Carrefour supermarket here. That's never happened to me in France. I kind of raised a minor stink, and then the guy coughed up the extra 20 euro note. I'm thinking that shortchange thing was an honest mistake. Here's what happened. I bought $3.80 worth of stuff, handed him a 50. Here's what he handed me back. Basically 25 and some change. And, you know, after a little bit of consternation, he ultimately produced the final 20 to make it all whole. And if he's really trying to rip me off, here's the change he would have given me. He would have given me 15 and some change back and claimed that I handed him a 20. But since he gave me this, there's no such thing as a 30 euro note. So that would be ridiculous that he had given me that change. And so I think he just kind of fumbled it. Now, this would have never happened in Eastern Europe. In Eastern Europe, it would have caused an international incident if I tried to break a 50 with just such a small purchase. Heads would explode, there'd be all kinds of chattering in language that I couldn't tell, and I'd ultimately have to produce some smaller bills to pay for it. But it didn't happen. I'm finding that the weather forecasts I'm using aren't very reliable, but what is the weather radar. And here I can see a storm heading pretty much straight towards where I'm going. And I'm gonna have to start looking for hunker down spots too, in case it hits me.